मैं वेसलिन का बॉटल हटा दिया.
Okay. So now, okay, now you are host. You can record and you can share screen, everything.
राजीव, मैं वेसलिन का बॉटल हटा दिया.
बॉल स्विंग नहीं होगा अब.
गुड वन, ग्रेट वन एक्चुअली. ग्रेट वन. क्या प्रेजेंस ऑफ माइंड तेरा है यार.
You remember, no, there's a guy called John Lever who came to India in 1974 when he was making ball swing in Ahmedabad and all this Kanpur and all. देखा तो वैसलीन इस्तेमाल कर रहा
अच्छा,
था.
कौन सा विच व्हाट बोला? जॉन लीवर.
John Lever, yeah.
हाँ हाँ, आई रिमेम्बर. इंग्लैंड बॉलर था वो.
Yeah, in the mid like around 74 series में around about some.
My first TV series was India versus England. I think the bowler was Graham Dilley, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, must be 85, no?
84 end. 84 end.
Just before the Benson
and
Hedges.
Hedges. Oh,
My first series was just after the World Cup, the India West Indies series, when West Indies came to India.
अच्छा. But that waking up at 5 o'clock, सब उठ जाते थे, घर में चाय बनता था, and India bowling to Australia.
That was
I think Australia were 55 for 5, if I'm not wrong. And the wicket keeper scored some runs. Wayne Phillips or somebody scored some runs.
Roger Binney got Graham Wood and Alan Border.
Oof. And kya ball swing, एकदम bold. Most of them were bold or caught behind or something like that. I think one of them, Kepler Vessels, hooked, and जो fine leg में शायद catch हुआ था somebody. Very vague memories, but that's where
I keep watching them. आजकल दिखाते हैं ना बार-बार, तो I watch. Rajeev, ready?
Yes, please. मैं actually record करना start कर दिया था, लेकिन मैंने pause कर दिया.
ठीक है, नहीं, you can start, yeah. You can start, yeah.
Okay, so welcome to it's like a part 2 of this entire Asia Cup thing only. So हमने काफी इंडिया के बारे में बात कर लिया, बड़ी अच्छी बात है, great. अब कुछ बाकी टीमों के बारे में बात कर लेते हैं, क्योंकि हम तो सब चाहते हैं कि इंडिया जीते हैं, and they do well and all the stuff. It's all clear. But the best thing is we should know about our competition. Competitors क्या कर रहे हैं करके. So I'll start with Pakistan. मेरे हिसाब से पाकिस्तान, मतलब it is also confirmed कि अभी ODI ranking में number 1 वही है. You can call it कि they play some B teams like Zimbabwe and all other things and all, but they have played decent cricket. और एक idea है उनको team में, उनके selections proper हो रहे हैं, and for some reason their batting has really risen above what it used to be some 4-5 years ago. They had a very bad decade from 2010 to 2019 जहाँ बैटिंग क्लिक ही नहीं करता था. बॉलिंग फिर भी चल जा रहा था, लेकिन बैटिंग क्लिक नहीं करता था. कभी कभार कर रहा था, कभी कभार नहीं कर रहा. But this combination of Babar Azam, Fakhar Zaman, Imamul Haq, and then you have Iftikhar scored a century yesterday. So, and Rizwan also. So these guys know these conditions and they play ODI pretty well. And ODI में उनको ये भी benefit होता है कि वो T20 की तरह pressure में नहीं आते. And then Pakistan, obviously, red ball cricket में तो they have a lot of catching up to do, and that's basically because they don't play well. मतलब ज़्यादा खेलते भी नहीं हैं वो, तो मतलब उस हिसाब से. But the fact is that this is one format which they are liking, and they're doing it very well. And they have the bowlers too. Anyways, great bowlers. I was amazed by that first T20, first one day they played against Afghanistan. 200 all out हो गए थे Pakistan, and then they shot them down for 59. Afghanistan had one chance in the second ODI to win it properly, but they just blew it away. But मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि Pakistan is on the day they can do miracles. So आप कैसे देखते हैं? तो मैं स्टार्ट करूंगा अभिजीत से. वो तो मतलब काफी मुंडी हिला रहे थे, so he's all set to talk about Pakistan. So आप बताएं सर कि क्या देखते हैं आप, पाकिस्तान को कैसे रेट करते हैं?
I think India versus Pakistan are the favorites in the conditions. Let's not forget that Melbourne win, Pakistan were all over us. It was just Virat Kohli who saved the day. Else, we were going to start with a very embarrassing defeat in that Melbourne T20 World Cup also. But that was T20. This is ODI. In ODI, our team structure suits ODI more than T20s. So I would think we are a better team in ODIs, but I would still believe Pakistan are the favorites versus India. Now, पाकिस्तान का जो आपने बताया, आपने एग्जैक्ट पॉइंट बताया, इनका बैटिंग में डेप्थ आ गया पहले से. एंड टू व्हाट भास्कर कीप सेइंग दैट योर बेटर बैट्समैन थोड़ा नीचे रहना चाहिए. तो रिजवान का बिकमिंग 4 डाउन और 5 डाउन, आई थिंक रिजवान आता है, has made a big difference to them because he gives a lot more stability. They're clearly the two best batsmen are Babar and Rizwan. So I think Babar comes 1 down and Rizwan comes 2 down or 3 down आता है वो. I think that has given them a lot of stability. Plus in ये जो नसीम शाह ने जो किया versus Afghanistan in the last one day, I have seen him done the same before, but I don't remember versus which team. But in some match I recall him hitting
versus Afghanistan Super 4 Asia Cup last year when he came and hit 2 sixes.
Okay. So this I believe has, and I could be wrong here, but because Pakistan ना IPL देख के ना उन्होंने अपना Pakistan Premier League start किया था, and the last 2-3 years, and I have followed that Premier League. The Premier League doesn't have much quality, but वहाँ के all the players get a chance to showcase their rawness. Whether full space bowling करना है या bang. Some of those teams they get 60 all out also on a day, and then they make 200 plus also on a day. I feel somewhere there, the eccentricity of their players have come out. Pakistan team is not a safety first team. Your Asit Ali, I think Asit Ali is the player, and Iftikhar जो अपने ये जब आते हैं बैट करने के लिए, they are not really safety first batsmen like a KL Rahul or Shreyas Iyer कि ना हम पहले 20 बॉल खेल लेते हैं, थोड़ा सेट हो जाए. They will hit, at least वो T20 में करता है. I don't know ODI में कैसे करेंगे. So I actually see them as a dangerous team. The only way you can beat Pakistan is if you trigger a collapse up front. They are susceptible to pace, and obviously with Bumrah, Shami, Shiraj or Prasidh Krishna, we'll have a very potent pace attack for those conditions. If we can hurt their pace attack early, we can hurt their batting early, then else in Sri Lankan pitches, if Pakistan makes 240, 250, I don't think we are going to chase that score. Contrast, if India makes 240, 250, I would believe India will have a strong chance to win the game as long as they take early. So Pakistan को beat करने का एक ही formula है. We have to get them, let's say, at 100 for 4-5, then we have a chance to win the game. Else, the Pakistan bowling attack is good. The other problem with India is हम सोचते रहेंगे Shaheen Shah Afridi and Haris Rauf, but Naseem Shah will blow off India. India has this tendency that one bowler who's not really been getting much wickets versus other teams will suddenly come versus India and blow us off with 3-4 wickets of the top order. Honestly, India versus New Zealand, the T20 semi-final 2018 I think, 2019. That Matt Henry coming and blowing us off, I never imagined. I would have expected Trent Bolt to do it to somebody, but Matt Henry आके उड़ा देता. तो मुझे नसीम शाह से ज्यादा डर है देन शाहीन शाह अफरीदी है ना. मुझे लगता है कि इन लोग शाहीन शाह अफरीदी को जैसे जैसे खेलेंगे, नसीम शाह will come and blow us up. So yeah, and plus there is a fear of the first game, of course, is a rain-affected game. But after the first 3-4 games in Super 4 and final, it will be a big factor of injuries also. So कौन team के कितने players injured है and all that will make a difference. Pakistan have also played 3 one-days more than India. I mean, they are already in Sri Lanka for some time now. So they have slight advantages over us, and I would see them favorites versus India in the opening game. But let's see. Rajeev.
Okay, आपने so obviously you've summed it up very clearly, but you're saying that people like Naseem Shah can be a big threat to India, and obviously you also say if Pakistan gets even decent runs, like even 240, it's a big threat to India. बाकी मैं आपके पास आता हूँ, लेकिन मैं आपके पास 2 चीजों के लिए आऊंगा. एक, आप पाकिस्तान के ऊपर अपना कमेंट्स दें, आप क्या सोचते हैं, and then take it forward to Sri Lanka also, the next best team, which is looking in the paper at least.
Fine. See, Pakistan, do you know who's the batsman with the best ODI average in the Pakistan team? It's neither Babar Azam, nor is it Mohammad Rizwan. It's Imamul Haq, yes. So I think he is a major factor. He's a high quality batsman. Okay, he's a very, very good batsman. Initially, people said he's related to Inzamam, that's why he's getting picked, etc. But he's really got class and he's a very, very mature cricketer. So I think, and Saud Shakil is another player we need to look out for. Of course, he doesn't have enough experience. Saud Shakil, or for that matter, the other guy, Abdullah Shafiq, all these are batsmen who don't have that much experience. I think that's where our chance lies. Imamul Haq, Fakhar Zaman, Mohammad Rizwan and Babar Azam are their key players. We saw what happened in the Champions Trophy final. Nobody expected Pakistan to win that Champions Trophy in 2017. They were a fringe team who could have just got into the semi-finals. But once they were there, we know what happened. We gave Fakhar Zaman a life. We won the toss, elected to field first, and then we lost the match. So I think we need to make sure that we don't give the newcomers a chance. Of course, Babar and Fakhar Zaman doesn't get off to a great start. I think if we restrict them to 220, 230, I think with Virat Kohli, if he's really in good form, we can easily chase it down. Depends on if you've seen even during many of the tournaments where India did really well, the Champions Trophy, the two Champions Trophies, 2013 or 2017, or the World Cup in 2019, we used to chase down totals easily, especially because these were all not high pressure games, but we used to comfortably chase totals down with the top three itself. So I think that's where we need to get back to that kind of a mode where Rohit Sharma scores 100 or Shubman Gill scores 100 or Virat Kohli scores 100 and we keep winning games. And then those big games, you'll need Hardik Pandya and Ravindra Jadeja to pull their weight. I think that's the issue. But I think more or less, I still think India has a superior team on paper because we have Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. Just these two players on paper make Indian team look very strong. Coming to Sri Lanka, I think Sri Lanka's batting look at the way they struggle to chase 165 down. So I think Sri Lanka's batting is very dicey. Of course, in Sri Lanka, they have their advantages because with their bowling, Parvit Rana is bowling brilliantly. And then Asalanka is a good batsman and he also bowls. So I think Dhananjay De Silva, we have Dasun Shanaka. Sri Lanka is short on experience and doesn't have the kind of players they probably had 15 or 18 years back with like high quality players right from top to bottom. Now they don't have Angelo Matthews. Let's see how they go. I think Dimod Karunaratne is the only solid batsman they have. So I think their batting is slightly weak, but their bowling is still really good, especially in their conditions. They can really defend any total. If they get 220, 230, they can make it look impossible, like 300 in their own conditions. So I think Sri Lanka are a decent team, and they are known to win Asia Cups. They won 6 Asia Cups, and Pakistan has just won 2 Asia Cups. That's one history we need to look at. India has won 7, Sri Lanka have won 6, and Pakistan, who was supposedly the best team in Asia throughout the 80s and the mid 90s, have won just 2 Asia Cups. So I think Sri Lanka are known to win Asia Cups, and they're very, very good at winning tournaments at home. So I still put Sri Lanka marginal favorites to win the Asia Cup. Rajeev.
Okay. No, I agree. Because see, last time what happened is Asia Cup, Sri Lanka had to. Did Sri Lanka go through a qualifier? I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe the World Cup they went through a qualifier. So in the T20 Asia Cup, they defeated Pakistan in those Dubai conditions twice. Once in the Super 4 and once in the final. But then finally, when they did go to the World Cup, they did not carry that kind of, So I think these conditions make Sri Lanka a stronger team. But, you still find India, Pakistan to be favorites. But you never know. Because I'll give you an example. A solid example is if India gets that kind of condition and gets Pakistan all out for 200, then they will chase. Even if they lose 2 or 3 wickets, they can chase them down, right? So I personally feel Pakistan has done a lot. Their batting is deep. People like Imamul Haq and all, they put a price on their wicket. They do not give it up easily, which is not a typical Pakistani trait, right? They'll just suddenly go for the shot and all those stuff. But these are different guys. Saud Shakil, for example, scored a magnificent double century against Sri Lanka. So it's a different team, and they have played in these conditions also in the recent past. So they can do some damage, but we'll see how the tournament progresses. Avijit, I'll come to you. I'll take the next 2 teams in the fray. So, Bangladesh and Afghanistan. So these 2 teams, they blow hot, blow cold. Sometimes, I mean, why I'm saying is Afghanistan got all out for 59 against Pakistan. The next day they come back and score 300, lose the match, but they get 300, right? So there is an inconsistency there. And Bangladesh, we know, right? I mean, they can choke at any moment. and they can also pull off some brilliance also. But I mean, Bangladesh has been in this environment for a very, very long time and still not been able to do something major till now. They have, if they defeat an India or a Pakistan or a Sri Lanka, we call it as an upset only, right? I mean, that's where Bangladesh cricket is at. So आप क्या सोचते हैं ये दोनों के बारे में क्या सोचते हैं?
So I'll start with the Sri Lanka one because हम श्रीलंका पे बात कर रहे थे. So Sri Lanka, the other thing is that they wake up in the biggest of tournaments. Sri Lanka have a terrific ODI record. They made two World Cup finals and even the World Cup victory in '96, which was least expected. 2007 they made it to the final where not many expected them to make it to the final. So they actually punch above their weight in the biggest tournaments. Even in the Asia Cup, last Asia Cup which they won, it was totally unexpected. But at the same time, let's not forget Sri Lanka had not directly qualified for the World Cup. They had to go through qualifiers. They eventually topped the group, but they had to go through qualifiers. The other problem with Sri Lanka, so Sri Lanka in the World Cup are going to have a problem. Once they're playing in conditions like India, they lack depth in every department, almost every department. And currently in Asia Cup, they have two big problems. One, Hasaranga is out. Hasaranga has been their bulk wicket taker for God knows when, for the last how many years. So Hasaranga is out injured and he's a late order slugger also. So Hasaranga out makes their bowling weak, and Lahiru Kumara, who's the strike bowler, he's also out. Both of them are out injured. जो मैंने आपको बताया कि इस टूर्नामेंट में there will be injuries, just the way in Lankan Premier League में लोगों को injuries हुए because of the rain, wet outfields and all that हुआ है. तो ये इस टूर्नामेंट में भी होगा. So Sri Lanka, apart from Nisanka, who's the opening batsman, who has some class about it. I know Karunaratne has the numbers, but of late he's not been scoring the runs. For a long, long time, I've not seen him. Their bowling definitely is weak. It is just the conditions. Ball agar turn kar raha, but they will have a problem in the middle order. They'll have a problem with the fourth and fifth bowler. I honestly don't see Sri Lanka a threat apart from them. एक match में 220 score कर दे and their bowlers turning. Similarly, I feel for Afghanistan and Bangladesh also. Afghanistan is now a totally maverick team. That Ibrahim Zadran or the wicketkeeper Gurbaz, if they get off to a great start, I think Gurbaz made 150 or something versus Pakistan the other day, if I'm not wrong. If they get off to a good start and all, they are able to make a score या कुछ तो एक बड़ा score वो खड़ा कर देते हैं. Else इनको up top order में अगर आप थोड़ा dent कर दोगे, they don't really breathe much. Rashid Khan and Mujibur is, I mean, they are not very dependable to trigger a collapse. They are all going to be a hit and miss. Bangladesh is even worse state. I think they had captaincy issues. They have to still continue with Mushfiqur, and Mushfiqur is not picking up wickets. Okay, but he's still being continued. इनके अभी भी, if you see Saqib ka runs and wickets both have dried up. They are much lesser, but still he is one of their mainstays. They've got some couple of exciting guys. I think Hridoy guy is an exciting guy, but overall they are not much of a threat. I mean, out of these three, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, and Bangladesh would be the last of the lot. Afghanistan and Sri Lanka will be above Bangladesh, and India, Pakistan would be form the top two. Sri Lanka with a outside chance, or rather a chance to be reaching the final. I'll be very surprised if India, Pakistan don't play the final. Of course, Bhasky made a very important point. Pakistan ka record in Asia Cups is very poor. So, and Sri Lanka are a strong team in big tournaments. So, you never know. Rajeev.
I like the way you said Bangladesh is even terrible position. It's unbelievable the number of times Shakib has come back as a captain. I mean, it's just T20 आता है उसको captain बनाते हैं, इसमें भी captain बनाते हैं. And Mushfiqur Rahman तो मतलब I don't know, वो कब से गुस्से में ही चल रहा है उसका लाइफ. मतलब उससे है एक जिगरा है उसमें, ऐसा नहीं है. But अभी भी आज के डेट में भी स्ट्रगल मारते हैं. मतलब I just feel I don't know where Bangladesh, मतलब they don't have the depth. वही main problem वही है. Anyways, we'll see how it goes. So basically Afghanistan versus Bangladesh becomes like a quarter final because उनमें से कोई एक ही इसमें जाने वाला है Super 4 में. And with Bangladesh today losing to Sri Lanka, it's a virtual thing for Bangladesh. तो वो तो है. Right. Now, so looking at this way, it looks like India, Pakistan from the A group should come to the fore. Sri Lanka and probably Afghanistan may come. If Afghanistan have a bad day against Bangladesh, then Bangladesh can come through. So पता नहीं मतलब ये combination कैसा चलेगा पता नहीं, but looks like you're right, because Afghanistan also played against Pakistan. So some skills would have been honed, right? I mean, they would have found कि कुछ तो कर सकते हैं करके, because when you play such a strong team and you take some positives out of it, you're really good on it. I also feel कि अभी आपने राशिद खान और मुजीबुर रहमान का बोला, तो उनको इतना खेल चुके हैं कि लोग अब समझ गए हैं कि राशिद का कौन सा, एंड T20 में उसका जो गिमिक से चलता है, लेकिन as the game becomes bigger, right? Rashid is not the same force as he should be. Bhasky, मैं आपके पास आता हूँ, and today this is the last topic which we have. Now, assuming that it is an India-Pakistan final, it goes towards an India-Pakistan final, what do you think India should do in these 3-4 matches, whatever is present? What do you think are the ingredients, the requirements to win Asia Cup? Let me put it that way. That's the question. आप म्यूट पे हैं भास्कर.
See, main thing, India needs to get its batting sorted out. Okay, bowling always needs to be a bit flexible, because the bowlers, it's in the captain's hands to bring whichever bowler you need. But batting order has to be fixed. To say that we need to have a very flexible batting order where anybody can bat anywhere, it's very fancy to say and it's very nice to say, but I think cricket doesn't work that way. You've always seen that the best teams have always had a very settled batting lineup, and every batsman knows which position he's going to bat. Like he's going to be number 3, or like you had Hayden and Gilchrist opening, you had Ricky Ponting at 3, you had Steve Watt 4, or like Darren Lehman at 5. Everybody knew which position they are batting at. The best teams have always done that. They have not really tinkered with their batting order too much. Sometimes they might send a pinch hitter ahead, but most of it, it's all very well known that every batsman knows which position he's going to bat in. I think we need to fix that once and for all. Okay, Virat Kohli is going to be at 4. That means he's going to be at 4 starting now till the World Cup. So that's how it should be. Or if he's going to bat at 3, there's no point putting him at 4 and just experimenting. So if Virat Kohli is going to succeed even at 4, or like if he bats at 3, he's going to succeed. So that's not an issue. It's about what the team needs. So I think that's where the issue is. Bowling, I think if all our fit players play, I think we are in good hands. We can have 3 fast bowlers and 3 spinners ideally, with Akshar Patel, Jadeja and Kuldeep, all 3 playing, and Hardik playing as a third seamer. I think more or less that's sorted out. I would still want India to try and score big totals and defend them, because when it comes to the knockouts, we'll have to bat first. We have seen that happening. We've tried to chase in big games and we have failed. So I think come what may, what happens in many of these games is we keep chasing runs, chasing easily in the round robin stages. So we think chasing is the right way to go, like what happened in the Champions Trophy final. But then come the big game, we struggle when we lose early wickets. So I think we need to learn to bat first, hope that we win the toss. We can't always think that we're going to lose the toss. We have to prepare ourselves for winning the toss and how we're going to go about it. If we lose the toss, of course, we have to do what is asked to do. Asked of us, but I think we need to just have a settled team and then go forward. One person we shouldn't miss is Rohit Paudel. He's one player we need to talk about. He's just 20 years. He's not yet 21, and he's leading a team in the Asia Cup. So I think I wish him all the best. Hopefully this will create a lot of excitement in Nepal, and a lot of people start following cricket in the future, and they'll look at becoming a test team maybe in 20 years' time. Rajeev.
20 साल में वो 40 साल का हो जाएगा, तब आप उसको टेस्ट मैच में लेके आ रहे हो यार.
I mean to say,
मतलब विश कर रहे हो कि उसे गाली दे रहे हो.
No, I mean to say 20 years Nepal can become a test team. And Rohit Paudel, we remember, like, that's how John Tricos and you had this Jimmy Cook and Clive Rice, that's how they played at the age of 40, 41, no? And played test cricket. So that's a huge thing. Rajeev.
अभिजीत, मैं आपसे भी सेम सवाल पूछूंगा कि अगर एक फाइनल खेलता है तो what are the things you are expecting this Indian team to do so that they can win this Asia Cup? Winning will give a lot of confidence.
What Bhaskar said is Virat has to come number 4. He has to come now from now till the World Cup and all. I don't think they have left all those room for experiments now. It's too late. If they had to do that, they should have done it a year ago and seen how it goes. And you have a chance to recover back. आज अगर ये कहीं भी कुछ experiment करता है and it backfires, and there's a high chance of backfiring because of the quality of pitches and the opposition. I think it will put their confidence down. And there are still question marks where Ishan Kishan will bat, if at all. Will KL Rahul keep, if at all? Is Akshar Patel worth being in starting 11 just for the reason that कि हमें deep batting चाहिए, boss? He's not taking wickets. Then Rohit and Virat, somebody said Rohit and Virat, we have started bowling. Arey boss, matlab, they haven't. I think the last time I saw them bowl was maybe 10 years ago. Now suddenly they have started bowling and they didn't bowl in any game in the lead up in the last 1 year. So there are quite a lot of ambiguity. I just hope the team which starts versus Pakistan plus KL Rahul is the only 11 which they are thinking of to play in the World Cup final. And that batting order. I know KL Rahul को शायद plus minus adjust हो जाएगा थोड़ा. I hope they stick to one, and because now they've selected the 17. Give Tilak Verma 2 matches. Suppose Tilak Verma score runs, then he comes to the World Cup, and suddenly Tilak Verma scored 2 runs versus, let's say, Bangladesh and Afghanistan and Sri Lanka. Then he comes to World Cup, faces Australia and England. It's a very different ball game. So I do value experience a lot. I do value averages a lot. But I just hope they stick to one gun. They don't do chopping and changing. कि बस नेपाल से ordinary team खिलवाते हैं, इससे आप अपना पहले 11 को settle करो, and please let them get some rhythm. These one of the reasons why Afghanistan did well in versus Pakistan is some of their players played in the Lankan League. Mujibur played in the Lankan League. Rashid Khan, if I'm not wrong, played. Gurbaz played. So that helps them. Our players need to adjust to these conditions. So I would not recommend changing the chopping and changing. Maybe drop Akshar Patel, take a full bowler. Maybe a Prasidh Krishna. Prasidh Krishna could be an expert. Could be a surprise weapon for the World Cup if fit, of course. Again, so and again we have to see how fit is Bumrah. Bumrah's fitness versus his form versus Ireland एक चीज होता है in swinging condition versus Pakistan दूसरा चीज होगा. So there's a lot of ambiguity. They have a lot to see. But I hope they sit down and write the 11 which is going to play the World Cup final for the first match versus Pakistan, and they stick to it. Same as what Bhaskar said.
Just
It's
one,
a very
just one
very
point.
good point. Yeah, बोलिए बात.
It's not that somebody did not say that Rohit Sharma and Kohli have started bowling. It's Rohit Sharma. He himself said that you might see Rohit Sharma and Kohli going to bowl, which was backed by Ajit Agarkar. So,
hey Bhagwan, I shudder because in modern cricket compared to 10 years ago, if you bowl one no ball, your over can go for 12 runs.
Yeah.
No ball में 6 + 1 7 रन तो हो ही गया. 12 runs तो minimum जाएगा if you bowl one no ball. ऐसा तो they better be very careful in what they are doing.
नहीं, मुझे नहीं लगता. और दूसरा बॉलिंग ना आपका रिदम पे बनता है, तो काफी रिदम चाहिए आपको. तो आप बॉलिंग कर ही नहीं रहे हो, नेट्स पे करना और गेम में करना बहुत बड़ा डिफरेंस हो जाता है. तो मुझे नहीं लगता करेंगे. सो अभिजीत, आई थिंक इट्स अ फैंटास्टिक पॉइंट. आपने सही बोला कि आप ये सोचो कि आप एक वर्ल्ड कप सेमीफाइनल या फाइनल खेलने वाले हैं, वो 11 निकालो और उसी को पहला मैच खिला के वहीं से लेके जाओ, और छोटा स्क्वाड बना के, स्क्वाड के अंदर ही छोटा एक स्क्वाड बना के उसी पे प्लेयर्स करो. आई ऑल्सो एग्री, जसप्रीत बुमराह बहुत बड़ा फैक्टर है, क्योंकि अगर बॉलिंग सही हो जाता है तो हमारे लिए बहुत आसान हो जाता है. तो वो एक चीज देखना पड़ेगा कि हाउ वी गो. बट ठीक है, विल सी फ्रॉम हियर. लास्ट
Rajeev,
हाँ जी.
Rajeev, one point I want to add also. We know we have deficiencies. The very fact that Hardik Pandya opens the bowling and bowls 3-4 overs is not an attacking move. It is Hardik Pandya के overs हम कितने सस्ते में economic. So it's a strategic move. Let's put it that way. So we know we have deficiencies across the board. So let's see how they go about.
Yeah. So last words. Who's winning this Asia Cup? अभिजीत, आप बताइए.
Very difficult to say. Looking at history, I'll go with India.
Okay, Bhaskar.
I still heart says India. India should win this World Cup because this Asia Cup, because they are best on paper. But probably I would say Sri Lanka.
Okay.
None of us said Pakistan.
Actually, मैं बोल रहा हूँ पाकिस्तान.
अच्छा.
मैं बोल रहा हूँ पाकिस्तान. मुझे लगता है पाकिस्तान जीतेगा करके. क्योंकि उनकी टीम
Pakistan are the most informed team. There's no doubt on that.
बहुत तगड़ा लग रहा है, मतलब दिमाग कह रहा है कि ऑन पेपर पाकिस्तान लुक्स टू बी अ गुड टीम, बट होंगे एक दो सरप्राइजेस तो होने वाले हैं, एंड दो सरप्राइजेस विल बी the one which will take you to World Cup. So let's
True.
see how it goes. So guys, thank you so much for joining and making this an entertaining one, and we'll catch up maybe towards the weekend for another session. Second को match है, so let's hope so. Second कौन सा date है भाई? Saturday है.
Saturday.
Correct. So Sunday maybe we can have a review
Fine.
of that match.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you and good day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Good day. Bye. Bye.